Welcome back to the PulpMX Fantasy Show presented by Maxxis Tire. My name is Donnie, and this season apparently starts tomorrow as we are going to Daytona for the 8th round of the 2023 season. And as you know, the season starts in Daytona. In this video, I have 5 riders to pay attention to when making your picks, tips for the FFL, the weather report, a race day schedule, and as always, an early look at my preliminary team that I'm setting today. But first, let's talk about who's in and who is out this weekend. Adam Cianciarulo was a last-minute scratch for Arlington, and he will miss this round as well. But we do have 2 guys coming into the class to make up for his absence. Dylan Ferrandis rejoins the series after missing the last few rounds in concussion protocol, stemming from an accident in Houston. And with Malcolm Stewart out for the season, it looks like RJ Hampshire will step up at Daytona and moonlight on Mookie's bike for his first look at 450 Supercross. No changes in the 250 class, but remember that PulpMX has 2 features to help you not get a 0. The first is the red cross icon next to a rider pictured to denote that they are currently suffering from an injury. And the second is a little checkbox to hit after qualifying is wrapped up that will filter out every rider that didn't put down a time. All right, this weekend I have 3 riders I want you to look at, 1 guy to stay away from, and a high handicap guy for you gamblers out there. First things first, 250 All-Star, the obvious choices are Hunter Lawrence at a 1 and Jeremy Martin at a 4. And I don't have a good reason you should sway from those guys, but if for whatever reason you are looking to get cute and swerve those 2, that will no doubt have massive pick trends. Let's talk about Nate Thrasher really quick. He won the overall last weekend after going 2-2-3 on the night. He also led every lap but the last in Tampa for a 2nd place finish. That means the only blemish on his 2023 resume so far was the double crash round in Houston. He's coming in with a 3 handicap, needing 4th to max out, and that's pretty generous for the clear-cut 2nd fastest guy in the class. If you want to make some pretty easy double points this weekend, I think we're all looking at Cody Shock. It's no secret the Phoenix Honda rider is more geared for the outdoor style, which is what Daytona tends to lean towards, but he's also become quite an accomplished Supercross guy in his own right anyway. He opened the year with a 12th and 11th respectively before having a rough night in Arlington that ballooned his handicap up to a 5. I don't think anyone would be surprised to see Cody land top 10 this weekend, and that would net you a cool 36 points. 450 side, All-Star again could very well come down to the top 3 guys, but I'm looking hard at Justin Barcia. Bam Bam has had a relatively quiet year, but maybe that is a good thing. Barcia is one of the most well-rounded guys with no real weaknesses, indoor or out, slick or slop, and at a 6 handicap, he just needs 7th to max out, and he's been top 7 in 60% of main events this year, 2nd best against his current handicap in the class, and the largest safety net outside of Christian Craig. One guy that I want you to stay away from this weekend is Joey Savaci. His first off week of the year gives him a bump to a 2 handicap, and although he posted that he doesn't have any serious injury concerns, I just don't think there's enough value for the 17 if he is coming into this race banged up. His best finish of the year was an 8th in Oakland, but that was with Ferrandis out and was aided by AC and Roxon both having rough nights. I just don't see him finishing any higher than 9th or 10th, especially as he's banged up, and his margin of error is razor thin, not worth the gamble to max out in maybe the low 30s. The high handicap hero of the round given to a rider with a handicap of 10 or more that I think has a realistic chance to score massive points this weekend if you're the type of person that likes to sweat out a little LCQ action for a big payout. Listen, this guy's going to have a massive pick trend, so I don't need to talk him up so high, but the handicap committee definitely missed one on Freddy Noren. Don't get me wrong, he is not a lock in the main, but if he does make the main, he finishes well. Everyone knows Freddy loves the outdoors, and with the right heat lineup, he gets in straight through easily. His 15, 20, 14 scores at Anaheim 2 are most indicative of what he can do, so I expect Freddy to either max out or miss, and there's really no in between. Moving on to the FFLs, 250s are still a mess. Add Jordan Smith into the mix, and Thrasher becomes the first one to have more than one. It is a full lap around a very long track this week, so I wouldn't pick any wild cards. It's Hunter or Nate for me. 450 side, Sexton gets shut out in the Triple Crown as Eli makes a statement to become the favorite with 2 of his own. Those guys were obviously both the correct answer, but flip a coin here. I'm not picking this week, but if I were, I think I would be leaning a little bit more Chase. Weather in Daytona is going to be perfect. Mid-80s with cloud cover all day before dipping into the 70s for the night show, We are going full East time zone this weekend with Race Day Live kicking off at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. RotoMoto patrons get the enhanced cheat sheet 30 minutes earlier than the rest at 5:30 Eastern before the basic cheat sheets are dropped on Twitter and Instagram about 1 hour before the gates drop, which they will at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. Before I show you my team, I want to talk about Maxxis Tire coming on for all 17 rounds so I can deliver these videos for you. You know Maxxis Tire. You know their MX ST tire designed by the king of Supercross and my all-time favorite rider, Jeremy McGrath. It is the newest and most advanced tire in the Maxxis MX lineup, featuring an all-new tread pattern, compound, and composition to provide the stability, predictability, and traction that the upper tiers of motocross demand. Available at your local retailer and also at motosport.com. My Thursday team looks like this. I have Jeremy Martin as my all-star at a 4, Colin Park clocking in at a double eligible 4, Cody Shock at a 5, and rookie Talon Hawkins with a 6. On the big bikes, my team is anchored by Justin Barcia with a 6 handicap, Dean Wilson with a 4 of his own, Big Hill Josh at a 6, and penciled in is Justin Cooper at a 1, but he may come off if Freddy looks frisky in qualifying. The prize for the highest championship league score in Daytona will be an autographed Colt Nichols jersey, but if you're not great at fantasy, that is okay. If you want a chance to win an authentic Marvin Musquin jersey, consider joining me over on Patreon, versus about $1 per week. You're entered to win race used and autographed memorabilia, and insiders and above double their entries, as well as an exclusive podcast talking fantasy stats on every rider in the field, and that enhanced cheat sheet that comes out every Saturday. Link for that will be in the description below. And don't forget to follow at PulpMX Fantasy and at RotoXMoto on both Instagram and Twitter for injury updates as the weekend rolls on, qualifying info, and stats and banter throughout the race itself, and those fantasy cheat sheets once qualifying is done and wrapped. Thank you for watching the PulpMX Fantasy Show presented by Maxxis. My name is Donnie, and may your chizzes chiz this weekend. Remember that 8 is great, and most importantly, have fun. Good luck, y'all.